All right. LDBC. There's your boy, Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, y'all. So, everybody remember this interview that Brian Kenny had with one Floyd Mayweather. Okay, everybody remember. It was maybe about, 10 years ago. And I put this interview up here before. Okay, I put it up here before. Why is it that guys like Brian Kenny and Dan Rafael, they're the only ones that can answer tough questions? And, when they ask a tough question or they ask a fighter an uncomfortable question, people say, oh, man, they're just asking questions that fans want to know. They're just asking the question that the fans want to hear. These guys, they're good journalists because they ask the tough questions. Have you guys ever noticed that? That people like Brian Kenny and people like him, that's what they get. They get congratulated. But when people like Fred or Blue Blood Sports TV or even Town Business, when they ask a tough question, oh, well, they're just being a menace. They're just disrupting, the whole media day. These people, they're unprofessional. See, that's the kind of thing we hear. It's almost like when a black person do something. When a black person do something and a non-black person do something, there's a double standard. And it's always a double standard. Or, I don't even like the word double standard. Racist. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm going to tell y'all, man. And this is no lie. So, I'm putting up I'm getting property and I'm finna put another gym up. Okay, I got one gym and the first gym is successful. So we finna put up another one. And we're going to lease out a space. And this is crazy. I'm sitting here and, I'm looking at places I want to go open a gym up at. And, I caught myself because I'm sitting here like, oh, man, and in an expensive part of this city, and, I'm trying to put a gym over there. And I caught myself for a minute. I started saying, oh, they're not going to rent to me. I'm black. Like I started saying that. I literally started looking at my choices. I don't feel like going through a whole bunch of headache. I know they're going to look at me and they're not going to rent to me, even though I probably got, credit. I mean, I've never been in any kind of like debt, as far as in my personal debt or business debt. I've never been in any kind of debt. But they're going to look at me. They're not going to look at any of that. They're not going to look at any of that. And what they're going to do, they're going to look at how I look, and then they're going to not rent to me. I mean, I had that problem when I opened up my first gym. I had the same problem. People giving me excuses why they wouldn't rent to me. And I already knew it was because I was black. And so I started telling my partner, I said, man, they're not going to rent to us because we're black. And, he was like, word? I said, bro, they're not going to rent to us in this area because we're black. And it's kind of crazy. And the white guy that was with us, he said, oh, man, I'll go in. I said, nah, because if I can't get the property based on what I look like, based on being myself, then I don't want it. I don't want to be in that area. And I don't want to give these people, our money to open up a business there if they don't respect it. I'm trying to find a black realtor is very, very hard. Trying to find a black realtor in this area that, got warehouse and gym space is very tough. So, I'm in the process of looking for a black realtor because I know that they'll lease to me. I know they will. But here go the thing. There are rules in play. There are rules in play for black people and there are rules in play for non-black people. And Brian Kenny, he seems to be able to ask the tough questions. He's not put out of events. Dan Rafael can ask tough questions. He's not put out of events. But let that be Blue Blood Sports. Hell, if Town Business tried that, let that be him. I guarantee you, they'll escort his ass out of there. Hell, Fred from Barbershop Conversations asked tough questions. Oh, but he's just being a troublemaker. It's always the black guy being a troublemaker, isn't it? But Brian Kenny wasn't being a troublemaker. You even got people co-signing what Brian Kenny said. The thing of it is, Brian Kenny has a history of triggering black athletes. He's got a history of that. And people, if you don't know your history, hey, go watch this interview. Matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all some homework. Go watch this interview with Floyd Mayweather and go watch Brian Kenny do an identical interview with Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the interviews were night and day. He spent the whole interview trying to trigger Floyd Mayweather. And then he spent the whole, the other part of the interview when he interviewed Manny Pacquiao, he spent that interview asking Manny, all the pleasant things. All the fanboy things. But he wanted to trigger Floyd Mayweather. And he tried to trigger Errol Spence Jr. And you got a lot of people running around here that they don't see why the interview with Errol Spence Jr., why it was wrong. People don't see. People saying, oh, man, you guys are just being too sensitive. You know, the LDBC, man, you're just being way overly sensitive, and it's not that serious, and it's not this, and it's not that. Okay. So all of that stuff that people are saying, okay, all that stuff people saying it's not that serious. The LDBC just being too sensitive. Okay. Then when Brian Kenny do what he did, okay, when Brian Kenny go trigger another black athlete so he can get a laugh, and look, you can look at the look on Brian Kenny's face right here. You can look at the look on his face right here. He got this smug look like, look, I got him upset. I mean, this picture right here tells it all. Look at this picture. And y'all tell me that Brian Kenny don't ask some of the dumb stuff that he asked on purpose. Of course he do. And Brian Kenny need to be called out. He need to be called out. This interview he did with Floyd Mayweather, not only was it one of the worst interviews that he's ever conducted, I mean, as a matter of fact, he couldn't have been more wrong, because all the people that he said that Floyd was afraid of or wouldn't fight, Floyd ended up beating everybody that he mentioned in this video, including Pacquiao. The man who he was a fanboy for. They need to get this guy out of here, man. They need to get Brian Kenny up out of here. They need to get him up out of here, man. Because the dude know what he doing, man. He know what he doing. And the fact that PBC, man, they co-signed this, man. See, that's why I tell people, man. I tell people, and I've always been telling people, listen, don't expect Al Haymon to stand up for any causes. Don't expect that. Al Haymon is not a revolutionary, and I keep telling you dudes this. Al Haymon need to do this. No, Al Haymon ain't doing nothing. Al Haymon gonna do what he think make money. I don't look to Al Haymon for leadership. I don't even admire the guy anymore, because I know what he is. And of course, the PBC, Fox, they allow Brian Kenny to do this to these athletes, these black athletes. They allow it. And as long as they allow it, then okay. And you can even tell that Errol Spence, didn't like it. He was saying, man, dude asked me all kind of questions, and he told Brian Kenny, yo, my attorney said don't say nothing. And then with a smug look on his face, oh, well, drive safely. Brian Kenny was a hoe for this.